All right, if you tuned in to the previous stream, I'd like to apologize with all of my love and warmth because there was a very serious audio issue that completely escaped me that I had no idea of. I was entirely unaware of, and I didn't mean for that to happen. I'm very I'm almost at a lack of words. I'm disappointed myself. I committed an egregious act. You guys deserve better than this. You shouldn't have to watch videos where it sounds like someone's scratching somebody up or ripping them to pieces in the background. I did a horrible thing, and I'm so taken aback with my awful audio. Ruben, I'm so sorry. I know your ears were completely bloodshot after that stream. I don't know what else to say. I know you work hard all along, and weeks and months go by, and you just wish you could have one stream that doesn't have horrible audio. And the day you didn't get it, you were let down. And I'm so sorry. I just feel so terrible. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to smile yet. No, that audio was entirely shot up because there was like I just turned my computer on and off again. A lot of times when I use the different pieces of technology, especially laptops, I don't turn it off that much. Like I'll just go, be up one night, close it up, start on whatever it is the next day. It is. But that was the reason for it. You have to excuse me with all the burping and belching and different noises that are made, but at least you're not hearing that horrible sound in the background. Also, I tried to take my headphones out because I thought that was the reason, and it was a blood chilling noise that erupted afterward. I'll probably because I did a practice stream. I'll probably cut it out and play it, and then show you how that sounded. It was very, very unnatural. But I'm apologetic to everyone who saw that, and you deserve better than this. I know you come here for quality rants and ramblings and various statements that are made, and you shouldn't be done that way. What an awful thing I did. I don't know how I'll sleep tonight. I might not even look up anymore. I'll just stare down like this forever because I'm so disappointed in myself for disappointing those that attended. Even if at the end of the stream they said they liked it and apparently didn't care. Technology really is terrible. Like I don't know how you can get a computer a couple of months ago and then it just, oh, you didn't turn me off for some days, so now I'm gonna have horrible audio in the background. They don't, these companies purposely make stuff like that where if you don't follow a certain tinge of things, because like a device is never broken if you have to just plug it in a little bit differently and then, oh, it works now. They do something to where it messes up like that so you can be incentivized to go and pick up another one. It's really aggravating. Well, here's someone I've never seen before. I'm getting a little excited. I'm going to start smiling and do a little dance and hope that he shows up over and over again and makes more appearances and decides to keep talking to me and chatting it up. Ruben, I was going to ask you, do you want the Cuba relations one or just the continuation of the news? Which one would you prefer? Because we definitely value your opinion over the average goer. You can have your cup of tea. And please make it quick because we're trying to. Either is fine with me. Well, again, I'm just trying to make sure that the I did stream Envoy, but there was a an audio issue, and I was apologizing to all of my people who tuned in because I felt so bad over having this horrid audio. I initially thought, oh, maybe my computer's acting up because it's upset with me as well. I imagine my computer's like it has like its own feelings. Oh, you don't care about none of this trash. You must be talking about me, and then the audio starts acting up because of that. 10 counts of obstruction. Where are all these people? I've never seen them before. Let me make sure I know we're on the same page. I'm gonna look that up. Go on Google and see if it works. But yeah, Envoy, I streamed earlier. I again have had an audio issue and wanted to do something that wasn't, of the same extent. Because I genuinely don't like having stuff like that happen. You come over here to watch something and then you have to stick your ear up to hear it, or there's some crap in the background. I hate the fact that happened. So let that be a thing. I don't get too upset. I guess your wish has now been granted. I'm like Shenron. Let me go back to looking this up. 10 counts of obstruction. 10 episodes where Trump might have obstructed justice. Well, like I said, I'm not a fan of the impeachment stuff because I think Pence would be worse, but I wouldn't be surprised if he broke some laws. Oh, maybe it's on my end. Imagine if I go and play it now and then it's perfect. And I'm like, oh, false alarm, made a mistake. Oh, you're trying, I'm not going to get between you and your meal. You can eat whatever you want. There's no issue here. There was actually a report that came out by one of my various critics where they claimed that this was an authoritarian channel where if you say something I don't like, or if you show a lack of interest in something, you get attacked by me, and that is 180 degrees wrong. I do nothing of the sort. So let's not even pretend that we're, subscribed to that theory anymore. Also, I hate the lighting. It's so aggravating. I turn one light on because the sun goes down, and then now it's all dark in the front. And I have the highest brightness, the highest brightness on here. So just, you can't win one way or the other. Maybe I'll upload some tomorrow because I don't like to just surround you with a whole bunch of streams. It's a crock of what's the point of all this when we can't impeach a sitting president? Could this be a distraction? Well, yeah. And that's not meant to insult you, Duncan. It's because I still have people who actually think that the people who go after Trump specifically for impeachment aren't trying to get away with the fact that they aren't doing anything themselves to fix any problems whatsoever. Like, think about it. Who knows Adam Schiff or Seth Moulton or any of these other, a lot of these different members of the House, who knows any of them for anything else besides, I want to get Trump in trouble. I don't. Because they haven't done anything. Just like all these people that now like Pelosi, they only like her because she's not Trump. That's what I was saying. That's why I don't like this era of politics, because it's just people basically taking anyone that says something bad about him, and now they're a good guy and a hero. That's how they roll. Which is kind of ironic because I was accused of only supporting, like not having a U.S. intervention in Venezuela because it was a Republican. It's like, no, I don't care what party they're from. I hate the idea of a foreign power saying, screw your, your elections and who your people have as the leader. We're going to tell you who your leader is. I hope I answered your question, Duncan. I'm just praying. I'm not entirely sure if I gave you the satisfactory response that you wanted. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'll have to live with the mystery until you answer. But I'm crossing my fingers hoping that you liked it. Yeah, Ruben, with the news, I noticed that it's a lot harder to get people invested in it because, like, the whole point of it was you talk about multiple things back and forth, and then you just go to one topic, give your opinion on another topic, give your opinion, just cover a multitude of things. But then, because the title isn't really anything that exciting, they're just like, oh, okay, maybe I'll check this out. I don't know, whatever. If you had to pick three, who are the three new nominations that you think will be top three? Three new nominations. Do you mean out of those Democrats to run for president? Just to clarify, I don't want to, not know what you're saying. I think I know, but I want to make sure. Probably Sanders, maybe that goofy mayor, and then I give Harris she probably, I think she's formidable. I don't, I'm not a fan of hers, but too much news to cover right now. Yeah, I mean, that's why I had to start doing the streams the way I did them, where it was like 8 or 9 different stories over a couple of minutes. So that was all connected. Oh no, those are the ones I like out of the rest of the field, other than maybe Yang and Gravel rather. But I'm saying out of the ones I realistically think are going to be in the top 3. Because again, Warren is screwed over by the fact that, a lot of Bernie supporters won't go to her unless he's not in, which I don't see happening while she's in. So you get my point. And then with Gabbard, it's just low name recognition / getting smeared over, her perceived likings of Assad, even though she doesn't, just there's too much stuff against those two to make me believe they're going to surge, which sucks because I think they're better than the rest of the field. But hey, you can always try again. So I hope I answered those questions. I don't know how you guys get these names. Like, what does that mean? Like, please tell me what that means. Your name. But I was speaking in reference to my audio, like on the previous stream I did, because I didn't turn my computer off for a couple of days. It was acting up, and you can hear all this stuff in the background. I was thinking, oh my God, I have this terrible device. And then I turned it back on. It's not as bad, or it fixed it or whatever. And I was apologizing to my subs because I don't like to have your ears be destroyed and ruined by, my slip up. It's kind of funny. I was actually told by a user, oh, hi, Kevin. I was actually told by a user that when I talked about the chick stuff, that this was proof of my refusal to take responsibility for things. But hey, here I am taking responsibility for something. So, no, well, you know how the new people are. They show up for like one stream and then disappear. Well, you don't remember that Patrick Little stream from last year and how there were all those different quote unquote new people, and I was like, only 1 or 2 of them will show up past this. And one of them showed up literally just to say something nasty on another stream, and the other one showed up just to like come on one of the romance ones, and then like completely missed the whole point of what I was saying, and then write something satanic in the description in the comment section. So I'm saying, like, I don't even, like, when I see like I go on my Gmail and be like, oh, this person just subscribed to, I don't even get excited anymore. Like, man, they go over here, they see one stream, they might leave a comment. Like, what's the point? Told you subscribers don't mean anything on here anymore. PewDiePie has 90 million and they can only get 4 million to watch. So I don't take it that seriously. And Duncan says he finds O'Rourke attractive. I mean, I can't think of any of these people. I'm just like, ew, you're so ugly. So it doesn't really do anything. I don't intend to. It's just not something I'm really that interested in. I think maybe the only chance I'd probably check that out is if I had someone I was friends with that was checking it out as well, just in close proximity, like, hey man, come over to my house. We have to watch these fights. Other than that, no. Yeah, Kevin tripped me up with his Japan. I'm gonna do that now. Have a Japanese name on here, and then if someone tries to like make a video, they have to copy the Japanese text. Like, what does that even mean? Jesus. Also, I recorded the snowflake video while I was away, so I'll put that up probably maybe tomorrow, day after that. I'm not entirely sure, but it'll probably be one of the weekdays where I just don't feel like doing a stream or can't do it because someone is around and whatnot, which is kind of ironic because as I started here, someone came in. So it's these things just happen. They tend to be events I can't really control. I would have preferred to do this earlier in the day because I always assume that when you're around 3-12 o'clock, depending on what particular part of the U.S. or in whatever country you're living in, that's usually when people are more active online. Like, oh, let me just check this stuff out before I go and do whatever I have to do for the day. But unfortunately, I couldn't do that because at 12 I was out doing errands. I already went over why Saturday stuff is so difficult. It's like the worst day out of the whole, and then Sunday's the complete polar opposite where, no one's saying, hey, let's go over here, let's check this out. None of that. It's only Saturday. This is the one day that has all the major events happening. Oh, go over this place, go over here. Hey, call this person. Hey, check this stuff out. I think it's really funny that when we were going over the previous stream, I was saying that you literally have a person who identifies as liberal, Kevin. He had an individual who was stating how, people will go and get on these websites and they'll say all this stuff online. Then when you actually experience stuff in real life, you go, I'm not entirely sure that's true. So like, I always have that one weekday where, people usually are not here and I can do more stuff. And then these are the same people who will tell you that they care so much about you, but can't contact you once a week, let alone per month or per every 2 weeks. It's just funny because they really tried to make it seem like the whole year was just kind of, they're too busy to say anything. And I don't buy it. Okay, Duncan says, how was Easter? Did the Easter bunny come? I don't know. I don't even really celebrate any of these holidays anymore, other than Christmas. I already know that, like, before you even say anything, that's because I like to see what people get and like to see the reactions to stuff. So that's my ulterior motive for supporting that holiday above the other ones. And I just feel so terrible. I really hope you will forgive me for that bad audio. It was not my intent to put something up where as I'm speaking here. I feel so awful. No, that was. I mean, I just sat there, so okay, maybe this won't be that bad because I've had that happen in the past, but that was just, what a nightmare. And again, I'm not the kind of person who, if there's, and I mentioned this before, when there's a project or some kind of thing like a video, I'm a lot more likely to go, yeah, this I screwed up. This is me messing up because it's just me who has to, bear the brunt of whether it gets done or not. So if it's done in a poor manner, I'm gonna say, yeah, I did this poorly, and that was really really bad. Um, I'd say he's overrated. I like the facts don't care about your feelings quote, but he just like there's so much. Sometimes I feel like with these commentators, whether they're liberal or conservative, but especially the conservative ones, that it just seems like they're opposed to everything just to be opposed to everything. Like hearing him talk about something like climate change or about the Israeli Palestinian conflict, and talking about Iran was anti-Semitic because she said that the Israeli government, or rather its affiliates, influence politicians to support the government with financial incentive, which they're not the only one who does that, so that's true. But I just, when I see stuff like that, it really does lower my position of him. And I don't like to just go, oh, this person likes Trump, so they're dumb and nothing about them is redeemable, and it's not idealistic to me. Hope that answered your question, Kevin. Hey, I'm gonna type it in Japanese if you don't like it. Joe Walsh, I'm shocked at his distaste for Trump. If I can remember who that is, I can give you an opinion on him. I know that earlier this year I got really pissed because former congressman, or he was current when he died, Jones, the one from North Carolina, died. I was pissed. I was angry because he was one of those people where he never ran for anything past the House. So you always got the incentive that he was someone who, like, whenever he said something, wasn't trying to jockey for a higher position, which is why he was one of the few Republicans that, oftentimes voted against wars and different things that other members of his party wouldn't support. Like just the thing of, I'm done with this screw trying to pretend to be part of the party. So I feel like we really lost someone with his death that we're not going to see for a very long time, if not ever again. He was great. It was really sad to have it happen, because I think I mentioned before that I don't like politicians that just blindly back whatever their party does. And so when he did stuff like that, it didn't. I just saw him as being more open-minded than a lot of his contemporaries, based on some of his opinions. Like, he was one of the few Republicans I ever saw in modern times who said, yes, Citizens United exists, the bribery of both parties exists. It's not a common thing at all. I don't even want to give an opinion on her, because I've learned that I just think the media is obsessed with her and she gets too much attention for stuff that is not that big of a deal. Like, I'll never get over when Fox took that clip of her from, what was it, Instagram, where she was talking to some little kids, and the clip isn't even maybe 2 minutes long, and they talked about it for like 30 minutes on their on this segment. It's like, what the, like, out of all the stuff that happened today, the biggest thing you can do is take a person who's not at that time, she was not in Congress, but take this clip and then just run with it for half an hour. I can think of so many members of Congress that don't even get a fifth of the amount of attention that she does, which is really it's disturbing and it's disappointing. I mean, I think she has a lot of good and a lot of some things I'm not a fan of, but whatever. I would just say that she's definitely not someone I look to that often. Like, I feel like the more you put attention to some of these candidates on, the less I'm interested, because they're kind of spoken of so much. They become all encompassing that you don't really want to discuss the same person over and over again. Like, I'm a lot more likely to talk about someone like Ro Khanna because he literally gets, I don't, again, not even a fifth of the coverage that AOC does. And I'm like, well, they cover on mainstream media, so they can keep covering her. I'll talk about somebody I like instead and give them some shine. Duncan says, "Are you happy with Ilhan Omar? The same ones that threatened her, the same ones that would have a heart attack if someone vilified Trump." Oh yeah, she's a hell of a. See, here's my thing, right? Um, Whenever you get to a point where you talk more about what someone says than what someone does, you know that the people who are discussing the thing are not actually serious about what they're talking about. So when you turn on the news and they're telling you about, oh my God, look at this thing that this congresswoman said. Well, I can remember when the U.S. admitted, what was it, several months back, that we bombed the wrong persons 1,000 times in the last 4 years. And I didn't see a single story on TV about that. I didn't see a single editorial about that on just by any of these different mainstream networks. But then you're going to whine about what this congresswoman says, which, again, I was completely fine with, because as I said before, the Israeli government gets away with murdering Palestinian civilians, and the U.S. gives them 3.7 billion, and that's our reward. They say, good job murdering more people that did nothing to you, and hiding behind the Holocaust to, let your own evils and misdeeds go without critique or rebuke. So that's my position on her. I think she's a hell of a lot more deserving of attention than AOC. But that's just my position. And again, that's because I think a lot of these foreign issues, like with these other countries, like the 7 that we currently bomb, whether it's Libya, Somalia, Pakistan, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, or what's the other one? The other one escapes me at the moment. But you get my point that, Afghanistan. With all these different countries, I like when they talk about the what we're doing over there, because it gets no coverage. Yeah, she's another person that, again, they can make some points that I'm not entirely opposed to, but then when they start talking about other stuff, it just, like, I still can't get over the interview she did with Joe Rogan about climate change, the comments she made about it. Something like, I don't buy or believe any of that just because I don't buy or believe any of that. I mean, I just like, that's how you can tell someone is not engineered to discuss that particular topic. Because, like, stuff about Democrats not doing anything for minority, I'm not opposed to saying any of that, or to the argument against having 90% of an ethnic group vote for a party that doesn't do anything for them. I don't oppose it at all. It doesn't mean I think you should go the other one, but you get my point. That's not a conversation I'm going to get upset about. When you start telling me that 97% of the world scientists got together to fool every country and all its governments and waste dollars just to waste dollars, that's where I just tune out. Like, yeah, I'm good. And again, this is why I avoid like having conversations on places like Twitter. People just write all kind of crazy stuff. Like, there are so many people on there who literally have adapted their position based on whatever Trump's position is. Like, there was one broad who is at the youngest, and again, I'm saying that to be nice because she has an adult son, I think maybe 50. And distinctively, I remember that right after Trump called himself a nationalist, then she put that as her thing on Twitter. It's like, wow, you didn't care one itsy bitsy bit about this word, but now that your friend in the White House is saying it, oh, now it's time for me to call myself that too. because it's not about having an actual position. It's just being part of a team. Okay, Duncan says Candace made some good points, but she turned me off when she said in a tweet that all Democrats don't like. I'm an independent, but I don't like when people generalize. Yeah, I identify as an independent as well, or independent progressive, or something to that effect. But that's my point. That like the stuff she says is too. It all feels engineered to be as ridiculous and just attention grabbing as possible, and that I'm not. That kind of turns me off from when to speak to that person anymore. Just or not speak, but uh, speak of that person or observe any of their future developments. And Shapiro kind of said something similar to that on one of his recent podcasts in reference to the Ilhan Omar stuff. So I just said, all right, well, I'm done with you guys. Actually, the person who told me that it was bad to just listen to commentators or people you agree with, I said, well, look, I've tried listening to people like Levin, like Hannity, like O'Reilly, and I get nothing from it because they're just all saying the exact same thing about how great everything is, and I I don't get what value I get from, you know, being lied to. I mean, the only one of them who on Fox or in any of these different conservative places that I actually have seen say things that I, think are reasonable, ironically enough, is Carlson, because he was talking about how stupid it was to fearmonger about Russia and Venezuela and Syria. It was all just stuff that I couldn't believe he was saying on Fox. It's like what that's how you know you live in the twilight zone. You got these networks funded by Boeing and all these other defense contractor groups letting this anchor talk about how stupid it is to be in these conflicts. And I'm like, that's supposed to be a conservative commentator, and he's attacking like these politicians from the left on foreign issues. That was insane to me. I couldn't believe it. Let's see. Most of her debates, she interrupts and talks over everyone super loud. Yeah, that's how they. That's why I don't like debates, because it seems like, especially the ones that happen at these conventions, it's just one person trying to talk over the other one, or like, oh, look at what he said there. He got him. He owned him. He showed him what he was about, and it doesn't really seem to actually, be toward discussing why something is good or bad. Okay, Duncan says, how do you feel about Trump's comments regarding the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia? Was he impartial? Wow, I can't believe that's gonna. You know what sucks? I can already picture in like 10 or 20 years, that's gonna be one of the few comments he makes that like shows up in documentaries. And they're like, this was one of the defining moments of the Trump era because, he said this thing that was deemed offensive. It's like, well, we're not going to talk about the actual policies. I just think the comment was stupid, but like the people who got upset about it already had a low opinion of him anyway. So, hey, man, there's so much stuff that he does that I don't even care about. Like, I don't care about the tweets. I don't care about any of the back and forths. I don't get why stuff like that ends up getting more coverage for some reason. And then whenever you say that, people assume you're trying to pretend rhetoric doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it has its place, and it's been shown to have some effectiveness. But again, if you're going to focus more on that than what the person does in office, get out of here. What happened to Ruben? I hope he's okay. Oh no. I think oh no. The YouTube ghost got Ruben. This is terrible. How will I go on? Hey, that's another sign of the the dead chat where he's just like, what's going on over here? What is it? Is someone going to type something? Am I going to be able to respond to that comment? It's like, if only. And they actually have several people who've written stuff on these different pages I go on that I look at, and it's almost like going to a zoo whenever I just check out somewhere like Twitter, because people are writing all kind of stuff and I'm not even taking it seriously or responding to it. Oh, here's another person that disappeared for a while. I don't have any candy corn today, Meta. I know that you're very disappointed because you thought it was CGI. And I got one of the people at Pixar or Paramount to put that in there. Okay, Duncan says, did you see all the alt-right extremists get eliminated? Yeah, I really don't like that deplatforming stuff. But yeah, when you make the argument for why it's dangerous, people don't seem to get that the point is you're only okay with it because it's currently happening to someone you don't like. When they come after you, then you're going to have a problem. And then Kevin wrote something and got rid of it. He said I wasn't worthy enough to look or view. I don't have enough experience points to check out his message. Well, I said the same thing. But again, it's people that don't like him who are perfectly fine with what happened. And then they bring up Sandy Hook and these other events. Like, yeah, but the point is you're getting rid of the person from being able to speak. And you're only okay with it because you don't like the person. That's why they pick that person. Because they were very popular, they would expect an uproar. So like I said, people support double standards. It's A-okay. One person gets treated this way, another person gets treated the other way. That's why I was saying in that last stream that you have these two chicks that go missing and everybody's up in arms, but then you bomb 85,000 people in another country, including, or actually, I think that number consisted entirely of children under the age of 5. But then you don't care because they live in another country. It's like, if only they were on U.S. soil, then I would care. Literally, the people missing matter more to you than the people who got blown to pieces because they happen to live in the same country. So I don't even try to make sense of this stuff anymore. It's too weird. It's too out of the ordinary, or rather, it's too ordinary. Excuse me. It all makes sense. I don't even take that word serious anymore, Kevin. It's like if I asked you, are you for conservatism? Conservatism, how? So there are certain things I like that get smeared as, being these horrible, evil programs. And I don't care anymore. Oh, I hope it's not socialism to want to stop bombing 7 countries or giving Israel $3.7 billion just for existing. I definitely would support ending that. Or giving the military, what was it? It was 717 billion last year. I think it's like 750 billion now. And then we still are stuck in the same war for almost 20 years in Afghanistan. So I don't even bother with trying to figure that out or not. So I said, it's like, I just don't think people are trying to have actual conversations at this point. It's just, let me see if I can catch you with this word and whatnot. Never understand why I've seen them lionize him on. Yeah, he's overrated. I stopped looking. I'm on a mission to find myself spiritually. Um, I mean, I stopped looking for it too. I just kind of accepted that there's too much nonsense entangled in trying to, you know, have any interactions whatsoever. A tool. Well, is he a screwdriver or a chainsaw? Because if he's the latter, that means it's not bad to be a tool. So we need an answer to that question. A detailed response that examines which one he should be identified as. Oh, broken wrench. They just cut him up and threw him to the side. But yeah, I apologize for the audio quality. I'll see if I can do some tomorrow. I appreciate those who came for an unusual second stream in the day. I know this is very absurd and weird and bizarre, and it doesn't make sense. But thank you, and have a good day.